and you're prepping to rebrand, what are some pros that you have that you can just like clock off?
Yeah, I guess you're de-risked from like a reputation standpoint. One of the big cons is like bandwidth, especially if you're trying to do like branded marketing. It gets really hard to do when you're doing it for more than one brand.
How are you thinking about customer like risk?
You want customers that are looking for that old brand to still be able to find that old brand. What's the story that you're going to tell in those markets to the teams that you're changing their name, to the customer?
If you're in marketing working across multiple brands, it's really hard to have like the shower epiphany. No one can put 100% focus into one thing. Welcome back to Owned and Operated. I'm your host, John Wilson. I run a $30 million home service company in Northeast Ohio, and for fun, I run a podcast talking about the industry. Today on the show, I have my good friend Rich Jordan from Sanford Temperature Control. Rich was just on the show about a month ago, and it was his story of $700,000 a year to $30 million in just 3 years. Today, we're talking about branding. This is going to be an awesome topic, and I look forward to diving in. Rich, welcome back to Owned and Operated. This might be your fourth or fifth, man. Like you're a frequent flyer.
I'm a regular, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I feel like if you're not here on air physically with us, you get a lot of mentions. I realize it more and more. I'm like, yeah, I was just talking to Rich about that. And I'm like, for the people that have no idea who Rich is,
yeah, it's like I have to be on here frequently just so people know who I am when you mention me. Yeah,
we just did I think your episode from Pantheon came out maybe a month ago, 2 months ago, and that was a good episode. It was like $700,000 to $30 million in 3 years, 4 years, and then you're at 3 locations, and you guys are growing like crazy.
Yep. Yeah. That was a fun episode.
So yeah, I'd love maybe we can dive in pretty quick because most people if you want to know more about Sanford, we can just link to that show from a few weeks ago because I think that'll give people a really good idea. But today you came on because you have 3 companies. You're in New Hampshire, New Jersey, and also New Jersey.
Yep.
And all through acquisition. And I think you've acquired a few others in there too. They just sort of rolled in. And you're prepping to rebrand to one brand, which is kind of an interesting conversation. I think about this a lot. I know I did this because we did 9 acquisitions, but then it's all just Wilson now.
That's right. You did do it. Well, because you operated under those brands for a little
couple
while.
Years. Yeah, a couple years. And but yeah, I think for being in one location, I think it makes a lot of sense. So I mean, maybe we can even give some pros and cons because I think there's some funny pros and cons of running multiple brands. What are some pros that you have that you can just clock off? Your team's doing the work. Big reputation, make sure that Google knows it. Some of the key areas they help are if you have multiple GBPs, they can post on every single one of them every day. They can send reviews by your closest GBP to wherever the job was completed. And they have built-in SEO heat maps that show exactly where you rank on the map pack in real time. There's no more manual updates, no more missed opportunities, just results. Get started free at bigreputation.ai and unlock 15 free SEO scans today.
Pros of running multiple brands. I mean, I guess you're de-risked from a reputation standpoint. You could feasibly have one brand that screws up, gets bad reviews, whatever it is. I don't know. What do you think?
I think if it's in one market, there's some. You get the people that I know that do it, compete against their brands, compete against each other, which on one hand is weird, and on the other hand, either way they got the customer, so nobody cares.
Yeah, I've definitely heard. Yeah, some guys like to get cute and say the customer got 3 quotes and all 3 quotes were from us.
Yeah. I have Heartland, Home Services, the big consolidator. They do that. They have 10 brands in our market. I know they have a bunch of brands in Chicago, a bunch of brands in Detroit. And yeah, you can call all 10 and get an estimate and have no idea that you're working with the same JWC or whatever the P backer is out of New York. There's a local guy that does that too. I think he's up to 5 brands. And that was always his thing. He would it takes a lot of maneuvering
Yeah, that
If
just
you're
seems like a
small,
lot of effort. Yeah, it seems like a lot
well,
of
dude,
effort.
they had a shared call center too. So like the dispatch team literally knew that they just sent Jimmy from ABC company to this lady's house. And now they have to send like Alfredo from DE company. And she's like, all right, can't send the same guy, but it's, like, this is crazy, man. But
Yeah, I just even
either
think
way, they
about
get the
trying to
customer.
market. I just think about trying to market, 5 or 10 brands in a market.
Yeah.
And if you're trying
It's
to do marketing
transactional.
well, that's
Yeah.
really
I think
hard.
it's transactional marketing. Like,
Yeah,
which,
cool.
is most of ours these days. It's a lot of leads. Like we just need the lead.
Yeah,
So I think that's probably the biggest pro. I think if you're acquiring companies, there's no potential disruption. Like you bought these
yeah,
brands.
yeah. I did.
So
Yeah.
there's like switching costs, there's potential customer like disruption. I don't know, but I think those are the pros.
Yeah, one pro is that you don't have to rewrap all the trucks. That's a
One
pro.
pro. Yeah. Well, you and I have argued about this, but like we've rebranded a bunch and we did not rewrap any trucks. We're running around multi-branded.
Really?
I don't think as much anymore. Well, so we bought these
Like you have some like APT electric trucks on the road right now.
so those were unmarked, but we
Okay.
bought Downs drain cleaning and we bought Central Heating and Air. And we still have one or two Downs drain cleaning trucks. And then we have 3 Central Heating and Airs. I mean, most of the other ones, like we bought those companies 3 years ago and we've just like cycled them out. So it was a lot of old vehicles. Like I'm not going to rewrap a 5-year-old vehicle if I'm going to cycle it at 6 years.
Right, and you also don't need to deadline it. You can keep it on the road.
Right. So yeah, that's how we thought about it.
Yeah, we did that with some of our like when we did the Bill Trombley acquisition in New Hampshire. That was a pretty decent sized one. And that
I
came with
remember,
like
yeah.
16 vehicles, and we sort of slowly rewrapped or salvaged those trucks over the course of 12 months
Yeah.
following the tuck in.
Okay. All right. So those are the pros. What are the cons?
I think one of the big cons is like bandwidth, especially if you're trying to do like branded marketing, right? Like non-transactional branded marketing. Like all the things that go behind like creative and media buys
Yeah.
and things like that. It gets really hard to do when you're doing it for more than one brand.
Yeah.
You end up what ends up happening is you end up neglecting some brands. And that's kind of the story for us. Like we basically leaned really hard into the Sanford branding and grew that name in its market, but really, kind of let the other one at the time kind of, wither on the vine as far as branding. And we just did transactional down there for the most part. There's some element of like, even with my vendor negotiations, we're trying to negotiate with vendors, equipment pricing across, trying to use like the muscle and like mass of the multi-market to get better pricing and stuff. And like vendors just really struggle with the fact that you're not the same name even.
Really?
Oh yeah. It's like a huge pain in the neck. No, yes, we own that one. Yes, it's the same EIN. Like,
That's really interesting.
It's a real pain. Yeah, it's actually shocking.
That doesn't even like make sense to me.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. And I mean, obviously people get around it, like these PE firms and stuff are certainly negotiating pricing.
Yeah. I mean, I'm again sitting here like Heartland has 10 in my market. Like that's not even like 10. That's 10 in my market. They're all within 10 minutes of each other.
Right.
Like, but what is kind of funny? I was talking, I mean, maybe this sort of proves it. I was talking with one of our wholesaler relationships last week, and they have one of the Heartland accounts. And I was like, what do you mean you have one of the Heartland accounts? Like, why wouldn't you have all of the Heartland accounts? Like, that doesn't make sense.
Heartland account.
Yeah. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. And it was exactly that. Like sometimes the individual brand can negotiate better rates than the PE like themselves.
Yeah, and I think just like even like inside the team, messaging, leadership, like culture and values and stuff, it's like it's possible, and we have, imbued that into the 3 different teams. But there's friction in that when you're like wearing different colors under a different name, different
Yeah.
taglines, you know. Um, Again, like brands get neglected, you know, like this brand's got all the nice swag and the nice jackets and like, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and like these guys don't. Like,
Yeah.
um, so there's some of that too. It's just friction.
Yeah.
And I think when you're on a small team, like if we had this like big, robust team, like maybe it would be easier to manage, and like we could have different brand managers, you know, that were focused on those brands.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't have that sort of, you know, we don't have those sort of resources. So it ends
Yeah.
up being like, can I split my own brain into three pieces and try to like keep all this stuff in the air?
I mean, you've run two brands for years.
Yeah.
So it's obviously changed at three. Like you ran two brands for like 4 years, right? Or 3 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was the third brand that you were like, hold on.
Yeah. Whoa.
Yeah, this is weird. Like, is
Yeah.
that how it felt? Like you just sort of added the next one. It was like, oh, this no longer makes as much sense.
I mean, I've always kind of wanted to be under one name.
It's cohesive.
Yeah. Like it's something I've always desired. Um, and then I think it was the third brand that sort of just like kind of was like, all right, man, are we gonna do this or not? Like, how many brands are we gonna grow to? Are we gonna go to 5, 7, 10?
Yeah.
Like this is just gonna get unwieldy. So while it's like somewhat manageable right now, like it's not gonna be
Mm-hmm.
manageable soon. So we really should like build this muscle of like figure out how to execute the rebrand, get everyone under the same name, and have that really be the desired play going forward. And I think like, you know, like you and I talked a little bit about greenfield operations on our last episode. I think that too kind of weighs in here because obviously like if you're going to greenfield under a particular name that already
Yeah.
exists. Um, so it's like, all right, like what name are we going to do that under? You know, we're about to greenfield into Southern Maine. That's our first one. Um, and that's going to be an extension of the Sanford location in New Hampshire. So are we going to do this greenfield as Sanford, or are we going to like do the rebrand and name change before we do that greenfield? You know, and
Yeah.
start fresh. So that was definitely kind of like the third branch, and then the active greenfield. Both I think probably push us over the line on this.
Yeah. How are you thinking about customer like risk?
Yeah, I think there's definitely risk, but I think it's able to be mitigated. So what kind of gives me confidence on this is that Bill Trombley, when we bought the Bill Trombley company, it was kind of like it was at the time it was like a peer company to Sanford, pretty close. And Sanford bought it in that market, and we just absorbed Bill Trombley into Sanford. Um, did away with the brand, you know, everyone, you know, Sanford shirts, Sanford hats, Sanford trucks. Um, what worked for us then was sort of two things. One is that you want customers that are looking for that old brand to still be able to find that old brand,
Yeah.
right? And like that generally means like digital real estate, right? It's like Google business profiles, websites. So like we left all of that intact. We didn't change it at all. The only thing we changed about the website was like it was like a photo of like me and Bill shaking hands on the marquee of the website, with like a little bit of intro
Mm-hmm.
to the change. But that's the only change we made. The Google business profile is like completely pure. We left all that stuff up. And then in our Service Titan, we, you know, created campaigns that made it like very clear that like these phone calls are coming from a Bill Trombley phone number, right? And then for like 6 months, the call center answered the phone as, you know, if it came in from a Bill Trombley phone number, it was, thanks for calling Bill Trombley. You know, how may I help you today? Book the entire call, take them all the way through the booking flow, and then on the end, be like, hey, you know, we're happy to announce we recently partnered with Sanford, and in order to get someone out to your home faster, maybe a Sanford or a Trombley truck coming out. Is that okay with you? Oh yeah, no problem. Great.
Hmm.
And that's how we ran that.
I mean, that feels
And
like way better than what we did. Like the first time we did this, it was 9 years ago. We answered the phone, Wilson Plumbing and R&R Plumbing. Like that was how, which like,
for
you know,
everybody,
yeah,
including Wilson
25-year-old John. I was like, yeah, this is a great idea.
customers. Yeah. So that worked really well. And like
Yeah.
as far as the feedback that like I was able to receive and get is that like we didn't really lose customers, and customers took it really well over the phone. Occasionally there'd be some long time Trombley customer
Hmm.
that would give a little bit of pushback, but like that's great. Like we'd love for them to give us pushback while we're on the phone with them. And
Yeah.
like our CSRs are kind of armed with like, here's how to handle this, like
Yeah.
same team, like same service, your warranty is still active, blah blah blah, right?
How
Um,
do you think that impacts like overstate? Because like, I'm thinking about that acquisition and you guys were in the same market. They
yeah,
had probably seen a Sanford truck before. That's not going to be the case for the next one. So like, is it a similar
yeah.
playbook? Like, what do you think?
I think it is a similar playbook. Um, the we're basically planning to run it almost exactly the same. The tough thing for us is that like we have a shared call center now,
Yeah.
across the three markets. My CSRs, like God bless them, they've got to run that playbook for three separate brands at the same
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. That's exhausting.
So it's going to be kind of tough.
Yeah. Well, even
But
right now it's tough. I mean, they're booking for like, hey, thanks for calling. Like,
yeah,
yeah, I think that's complicated.
yeah.
How did you like this is like in the weeds, but AI in the call center? Like, how did you do that? Because I'm imagining AI has to mess that up a lot.
uh, just talking about like the three brands AI in the call center, we've been able to basically like silo the bots.
Okay.
So, so like if a call comes in from this phone number and this Service Titan account, then it's like a separate bot that knows
Yeah.
nothing, like has no knowledge of the other brands, only this one brand.
Okay.
So like right now we're rolling out new bots this week that will still be siloed by local brand, but they'll also have knowledge of this new brand and like
Yeah.
how to massage that introduction. So we were just working on that yesterday, actually.
All right. All right. Cool. All right. So you think different state, it's the same playbook.
I think it's the same playbook, and I think it would have been so, you know, initially like our natural path, like our natural inclination was to take
Yeah.
our largest existing brand and use that brand across all three markets, right? So for us, that's Sanford and New Hampshire. Sanford's
Yeah.
double the size of the next largest brand that we have, um, and we've done a lot of brand investment in Sanford. So we were gonna just make everything Sanford. Um, the problem, like as we got close, and like we were gonna run that play, we were ready to run that play. But as we kind of like got closer to the finish line on that, what became clear to me was like, we're taking and like my other two companies are Guarantee Plumbing, the Garont, Tom Guarantee Plumbing, and C&F Plumbing, which is for
Hmm.
the last names of the two founders of that company. So we were going to take the last names of the forgotten founders of these two brands, and we're going to replace them with another past founder last
Yeah.
name, not in the market. And like, it's like, what's the story that you're going to tell in those markets, to the teams that you're changing their name, to the customers, to the market? It basically, it just seems like it seems like an acquisition is what it looks like. And like that story is just like harder to tell and hard to get people behind. So that's why we really went towards like, hey, look, if we're gonna do this, like, let's really think about, should we just change our name? Like, should we take this opportunity to change the name of everything and change it to something that's like that we feel like we can kind of rally behind, that speaks to our values, tells the market a little bit about us and like what they can expect from us. Um, and that's the route we went. So we're taking all three brands, to include Sanford, which is our most robust brand, and we're changing the name to a entirely new name.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
I'm imagining now, granted, like my name's still on the business. So I think I'm like, would I do that? And my first thought was like, no, I wouldn't. But it's also like, well, yeah, it's because my name's on the business. Like, I think. Okay. All right. So like, what's the new name?
The story is a little bit better.
What's the new name? Like,
so the new name, and I'll give a little bit of like prelude here is,
give us some prelude.
So we have core behaviors at our company, that like we take really seriously. We brief all the time, spoken around the office all the time. And one of them that the team has really rallied behind, actually, I'll prelude this even too, is, I actually last week, so I did our brand reveals to the teams last week, and at Sanford, I had the team, we have 10 core behaviors, and I had the team, I was pulling guys into the conference room on the whiteboard and having them vote on their top core behavior. The winner was seize the high ground. Seize the high ground, do the right thing, even when not easy or profitable. That's one of our core behaviors. A lot of the guys really rally behind that. They're proud of that. And we live that every day. To the chagrin of my wallet sometimes.
Yeah. I'm like, you saying that and looking off in the distance. It was just like, we live that every day. And I'm just like, oh, dude. I lose money every single day. I have never made $1.
Yeah. But we really go above and beyond for our customers. Certainly we make things right when things go wrong and stuff like that. And that's the core behavior that really drives that. So we're rebranding as High Ground Service Pros.
Okay.
And like I really think like the way we could do the brand marketing for that in the market, I think it could be pretty powerful. So that's where we're rolling.
One of the tools I've personally seen make a huge difference for service business owners is Quo, formerly OpenPhone. Because when you miss a call, you're not just missing a conversation, you're losing business. Quo is the modern business phone solution powered by AI that helps you stay responsive and connected. It logs calls, creates summaries, and automates next steps. From drag and drop setup to AI-powered call tags, every detail is designed to make your phone system smarter, customers happier, and your team more in sync. It's one of those tools that makes you wonder why you didn't already switch. 90,000 businesses already have. Start your 7-day free trial at the link below and get 20% off your first 6 months just for being a part of the owned and operated crew. Whoa. No missed calls, no missed customers. So I would have also thought largest brand. Mm-hmm. I also, but maybe it's because that's just where you sit every day. Like, what do you think the loss is? So like branding investment, in your mind, that's sort of like sunk cost.
I think so. I mean, trust me, like it pains me deeply to change the name of Sanford. I mean, I've invested a lot of money in that brand. And really like we've built that to like what I would consider like nearly like household name status in New Hampshire. And it's the largest, or you could argue like it's like the number 2 largest home service company in the state of New Hampshire right now. And we built it into that. Like, when we took it over, it was only 12 people, 3 million in revenue. So yeah, I mean, like even the signage on my building cost me like $60,000 to put up. Now I have to tear it down. Like it kills me.
So what's the thought? Like, how much is the investment to do this?
It's like $500,000. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like $300,000 just in truck wraps. It's like another 50 in uniforms, and then it's like website design, and then some stuff that we probably would have done anyway for like the existing brands, like radio spot production and stuff like that.
What do you think about? We had this with one of the brands we bought. So I bought this company, and the company was like tiny, like $1 million business or something, or like 1.5. And their SEO was ridiculous, like way better than ours. It was like, I think you remember this.
I
Like, it was
remember this,
embarrassing.
yeah.
It was so embarrassing. Like, it
was actually insane. It was insane.
It was insane. It was like a local HVAC company doing $1.5 million a year that was hitting like 15,000 page views a month. Like, it was absolutely ridiculous.
It had like a 40 domain authority or something.
Yeah, it was like crazy. I mean, they honestly should have just shut down the business and turned it into like an e-commerce for filters. Like, it would have been a larger and more valuable business. But yeah, kind of funny. So like, how are you thinking about the investments you've made in like digital real estate, like SEO, as you transition? Because you're going to change domains, you're going to do all that. So like, how are you thinking about it?
Yeah, so we've got so like Sanford's domain performs very well now.
Right.
We've made some SEO investments there. It gets, I think, right. We've definitely seen it down. Like, AI has hurt us on the SEO front in the past 6 months, but I think we're still getting like 14,000 visits a month on that website. And it's got a decent domain authority. I think it's like 27. But it's not crazy good.
Yeah.
So I actually bought highground.com, which I was surprised that I was able to get.
That is really surprising. Was it like for like $20 or like $2,000?
No, it was a little bit of money. It was 10 grand. But it's a 2-word domain. Pretty solid.
Yeah, I mean,
domain. And like,
10 grand feels pretty good, to be honest.
It was dormant, like someone was sitting on it, but it had been previously used for like a technology HR platform thing. And they had made a bunch of investments in SEO. The backlink profile is crazy, and it has a 48 domain authority.
Holy shit. That's crazy. And how much of that transfers?
I think it transfers. I think you just have to maintain, if you start like bleeding backlinks, I think it goes away. But I think if you maintain the backlinks, it works. I mean, honestly, I'm not sure. Like, we'll find out.
Yeah, we'll find out.
Because we're going to be changing the content. And I wonder if like Google's not going to like that.
What's going to go to 404s? You'd have to like copy where the link's destined to.
The thing is, I think a lot of the backlinks are actually to the homepage.
I mean, that would be amazing, because then it probably would just continue.
Right.
Yeah.
I wonder if there'll be any penalty that, like, the sites backlinking to it now are all like HR related sites, and then it'll be a plumbing site. So I wonder if that's going to be a problem, but I don't know.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
But it feels like, like I actually bought the domain without even realizing the domain authority of it. And then I was like, oh, this is a nice little surprise. Sweet.
Yeah, that is solid. Yeah, that's solid. All right. So we got the domain. We're going to change the website. Are you going to, I know there's a way to redirect. So that would be something to look into. Have you looked into that?
So the only problem, I think eventually, yes, but kind of like
I think you're supposed to do it sooner than later. So we looked into this for this website that was outperforming like crazy, and we didn't do it soon enough. And I think it made it not impossible, but very challenging. What you're supposed to do is every single page I'm going to use the wrong words here, so someone in the comments is going to use the right word. But basically, you permanently redirect that page so the backlink still counts. The domain authority just transfers over. That's how it's been described to me. So anything positive from the page, or negative, I guess, from the page that you're linking, like, permanently is associated with a new page. And what makes it hard is you have to do it page by page. It's individual page by page, not like website. Because you want this specific URL to go to this specific URL. So your website has a ton of pages, but I bet you could probably find the top performing 100 and permanently redirect them.
Yeah, I guess I just wonder how that squares up with like keeping that digital real estate so that your customers still land on the page that they were looking for. if they're looking for Sanford, you want them to find Sanford.
Yeah.
So that's like the only thing that would keep me from just like straight up redirecting it,
Maybe keep the homepage.
Yeah. Maybe. Yeah, there's definitely some like subordinate pages that have good backlink profiles and stuff. So maybe we could redirect those.
Yeah, that's interesting. All right, so your uniform signage, what's the time period you're thinking about this?
So I mean, we've been working on this, like the brand design, the copy, the website, all that stuff. We've been working on that for like since August. So like 3 months.
Yeah.
And now like we just revealed the name to the team. So the team's known that the name was going to change for a while, and they've all been like, anxiously awaiting what the name was going to be. We just revealed that last week. So now the website's supposed to go live in 3 days. We're like transitioning GBPs, the name on the GBPs, one GBP in each market. And so there's some fuse time to all this stuff, things have to get verified, and at the same time, we're running billboard and radio campaigns in those markets.
Yeah.
That's all starting next week.
Is it announcing the rebrand or just like talking about High Ground?
The billboards are announcing the transition. So it's like co-branded. The radio spots are just like pure High Ground spots. As if the other brands didn't exist.
Yeah.
And then then trying to just like mitigate operational disruption. We're doing 2 trucks a week. We're rewrapping.
Yeah.
In each market. So like Sanford, for instance, that's going to take like 4 months to rewrap.
It was a humble brag for how large his fleet was.
Yeah,
for the folks that missed that.
It might be
might be longer.
It might be 5 months.
Could be 6.
Yeah, had to throw that in there.
Yeah, it was good.
But so yeah, it's kind of like there's going to be this sort of awkward like 2-month stage.
Yeah.
But that's kind of like what we're trying to do.
Yeah,
like get the digital real estate assets up, start doing mass media, pushing mass media to those digital assets, keep the old brand digital assets up as well. And then the hope is that we're like not really like losing customers due to confusion, So
like the cost is obviously like a big part of the equation. It's also an add back, right? So it's a one-time capitalized cost that you get to carry forward for who knows how long. So like the cash, it's definitely like a lot of cash out of pocket. But the reason I'm saying that is, why do you think PE doesn't do this? Because it is an add back. It's an invisible cost as far as like whatever their next trade is. So why do you think they don't rebrand more into one? Why isn't Apex, 250 shops of Apex?
I don't know. It's a good question. I mean, especially when it comes to their smaller shops, we
have some Apex shops locally that are like $1 million a year of revenue. And I'm like, I don't even know why Apex bought them. Like it's very odd.
Yeah. Like for those, like, I definitely think I'd be rebranding, and like at least consolidating in a market. I don't know. I mean, there's risk, right? Like there's execution risk to doing this. Like I didn't set out on this, like having all the answers to what we were going to do. Like we've sort of landed on some that I think are pretty good.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like super obvious how to do this. I don't know. I maybe it's like, the focus on just like retaining and maintaining EBITDA and growing EBITDA is like, hey, look, we don't need to mess with the name.
A limit of J curve.
Yeah, I would say like,
I mean, maybe firepower for other acquisitions. I don't know. Cause I think like what we've seen, and the story feels different here just because it's different markets, but we rebranded all of those brands into the same company in 2023. And the next like 12 months was 60% year over year growth. And we started at 13 or 14 million. Like it was like ridiculous.
Right.
And it just like, it clicked. We were all one team. We were cohesive. It got rid of like half of the daily conversations used to be about this team versus that team versus whatever. And it's like, none of it mattered. Now, what also happened at the same time for us is we rebranded, but we also physically combined locations.
Mm-hmm.
So we were able to solve problems in 10 minutes, what used to take a month, because I could just walk an office over and be like, we're doing this right now.
Yeah.
And it's hard to say like which was which, but it definitely in one market anyways, like, I mean, it blew up pretty quick.
Well, and now like the firepower that you put behind any sort of mass media or branding or, events team or whatever it is, the name
I
on
couldn't
the polo
imagine
shirt.
doing that across multiple teams. I mean, it's just too confusing.
Inefficient. It'd be massively inefficient.
Yeah. It feels like, just basically a waste. like what? Yeah. Why bother? And all you could do is transactional marketing. And even then, like, you can't do events, you can't do canvassing because it's like a different pitch and you can't like get to scale with anything. But I also think, so for like the operator, it makes sense. Well, something else this reminds me of was Bill D'Alessandro. He described this as shower thoughts, and I think about this all the time. But like, he was using it for this exact case. So like, what this is called is a house of brands or a branded house. Mm. So a house of brands like is the PE company. So I have 200 locations and 150 brands inside there. So they're a house of brands. They have a bunch of different brands, and the way that you manage that is different. It's not worse or better. It's just different. Like depending on your scale, it might be worse. Like in this case, it's worse, right? For me, it's probably worse. But a branded house is what you're transitioning to. You're moving from 3 brands to 1, and you're hoping to get operational efficiency and like better brand power and all the things you're hoping to come from this. But I remember going over that with Bill D'Alessandro, and he's in e-commerce, and he was running a house of brands where he bought all these e-commerce businesses related to pets. And he was using it for this use case of marketing specifically, but I think you could take this to any section of the business if you're running a house of brands. What is your shower thought? So what are you thinking about when you're not thinking about anything else? And if you're in marketing working across multiple brands, it's really hard to have like the shower epiphany where I'm not thinking about anything and I had an aha about this idea to go do this thing. Like right now, our friend Isaac is running this really interesting thing for sewers and drain lining. And it's like working wildly, which is awesome. And my suspicion is that if he was working across multiple brands, multiple geographies, he would not have had that epiphany, which will probably allow him to double in the next 12 months.
Right.
So like he would have missed it because he was too focused on these other things.
Even if he was multi-trade, I think it would be harder
even if he was multi-trade. Yeah. He's one trade right now. And he just, he wouldn't have had that. Cause I know that holds us. Like we're a branded house, we're Wilson, but we also have plumbing, HVAC, electric, drains, and it feels a little more confusing. No one can put 100% focus into one thing.
Yeah, and like we have one branch right now that's still pure plumbing. It's our smallest branch, but it is so much easier to like get your arms around it.
Oh yeah,
it's like we're gonna improve this, we're gonna do this, and it's like boom.
Yeah.
It's a lot more difficult when you're trying to manage HVAC service, HVAC maintenance, HVAC install, plumbing, drains, electric. As you think
about the brand, it's sort of in that tandem. Like, how are you thinking about like adding or subtracting services? I suspect you just end up with all of them have all of them.
Yeah, that's where we're headed. So like that pure plumbing branch. So right now, like the 2 largest of the 3 branches have all of them. Yeah. To varying degrees. That one smallest branch, which is also our newest branch, is pure plumbing.
Yeah.
I think the way we're gonna go here is I'm gonna hire a couple HVAC techs like immediately.
Yeah.
To be able to handle HVAC demand there. So we'll be plumbing and HVAC here pretty soon. I could have my mind changed on this, but I think we're for the time being, I think we're going to tell people if they call in for electrical service, we're going to tell them that we don't offer it at that branch, which is not great. But I think, at least in my experience, like electrical gets the lowest call volume of the three trades. So I don't think it's going to be a terrible issue.
Guys, buying a business and running a business is hard enough, and that's why for our partners, we choose AppleTree for both of my businesses. Most CPAs, they might call you once a year, they'll hand you a tax return, and they'll call it a day. AppleTree actually understands acquisitions. They'll dig through the P&L, they'll find the red flags before you close, and they'll make sure that you're not walking into an absolute financial mess. And they don't disappear after the deal is done. AppleTree helps you keep your books clean, they dial in your tax strategy, and they help you keep more money in your pocket. If you're buying or running a business and you actually want an accountant who speaks operator and knows your business, reach out to AppleTree Business Services. Find their website at appletreebusiness.com and tell them Jack from Jacquisitions sent you.
There's Ohio's kind of interesting because there's some interesting use cases, maybe not even case studies, where Columbus, Cincinnati, and Dayton are this perfect triangle that are all only an hour apart from each other. So it's this hour. And they're all growing like crazy, which double-digit growth, which is obviously big, and big, in that little quadrant. Ohio has 11 million people, and in that little quadrant is 7 of them. So it's a big area. So what I've found is these companies, they all go 3 location. Everybody goes 3 location because they're all just an hour away, and the next city also has 2 million people, and the average income is big, and the demographics are perfect, and it's growing like crazy. So they all just bounce, and they all do that with just one trade. And then once they get there, they add more trades. But what's been really interesting to me is they all stop at 3 locations. So they all get to 3. Then they add more then they add more trades. And then they just stop and deal with the problems that come with multi-trade instead of just adding more locations, which is, I think, kind of funny. So they still have growth. It's just same store growth, not geographic growth.
Right.
I don't really know what that insight gives. For me, what I usually walk away from that with is minimum sizes. Hey, if I'm going to start with plumbing, which I think plumbing is the easiest to start a new thing with. If I'm going to start with plumbing, do I get it to 5 million, then add something different? Because then I could actually support a second trade, and I have enough customers, and there's just more going on there. But you guys are stronger at HVAC than I am, so I don't know.
Yeah, I think we'll be able to, and that branch is close enough to my other branch that we're able to sort of share some for instance install crews. I could feasibly launch HVAC at this new branch, and I don't have to keep an install crew fed. I could just push crews to it. So that helps us out a lot. I can just launch HVAC with 2 HVAC service techs.
Yeah, that's nice.
But yeah, and that branch is growing on the plumbing side, and it's at this point it's pushing up on 4 million of run rate in plumbing.
Yeah,
so it feels and it's only continuing to climb. So I feel we're right about where you're thinking for minimum trade density.
Yeah.
But that becomes interesting too on the greenfield side. Something I've been thinking about, for greenfielding, do we try to launch a greenfield with a single trade, or do we go 2? I've been thinking HVAC and plumbing for our greenfields personally.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I think 1 is easier.
For sure.
And I like the idea. Again, this is I just feel to me, it is easier. Plumbing is an easier trade to run, and it's just more predictable than HVAC.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think there's a lot of variables when launching something new, and I'd like to remove as much of that as possible.
Yeah.
So if you could hit 200,000 or 300,000 in the first couple months, just doing water heaters, and to me that makes sense. That just makes sense.
Yeah, I definitely. If I had to choose one, I think I would choose plumbing. Plumbing,
Well, it gives you a solid base of revenue. You just don't have to worry about very much, and it's very profitable.
Well, and plumbing just like generally gets a higher percentage of like new customers calling. At least in my experience. HVAC is much more of like a loyalty game. It's
almost
like
all of ours are recurring. Yeah.
Yeah, it's harder to gain new customers, but
yeah,
you're able to sort of like convert them to memberships much easier. It's like very difficult to sell a plumbing membership. But it's like way easier to sell an HVAC membership. Customers see more value in that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I think maybe a hybrid, like maybe you get the best of both worlds. Like you're running plumbing, you're like acquiring new customers in a greenfield on the plumbing side, and then trying to cross sell into HVAC and retain.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on today. This was interesting. I honestly, I don't think I knew that you were going to change Sanford's brand. Like you left, and we talk a lot. You left fielded me there. And I know you talked to Isaac about it because he the other day he's like, dude, Rich convinced me, man. We're changing the name. We're changing the name. And I was like, yeah, okay. That is a big decision, and I'm not like right or wrong. Like it probably makes a ton of sense. I get where you're coming from, but that's a lot of deliberation.
There's just a lot of work behind it.
Tons.
It's like every rock you turn over, you're like, oh man, we got to do this too. It's like so much stuff.
It's so much. I mean, it's a lot, but sounds like you guys are going to deliver in the next 6 months.
Yeah, man, we're excited. I think I'm certainly like happy and proud of the name that we landed on, and
yeah, it's a good one.
I think it's it's really gonna take us forward, and I think like, especially as we lean into like greenfield and branded activity and organic growth, I think having a name that we can really stand behind, and it's exciting.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, that's awesome, dude. Thanks for coming on. If people want to get a hold of you, how can they find you?
Let's see, Twitter, Strong Point Rich on Twitter, and LinkedIn, Rich Jordan on LinkedIn. Happy to connect with anybody.
Hell yeah. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah. Thanks, John.